So I have this friend. He's right here.
Hi, everybody. You've heard me before.
Yeah. He has three brothers, and at a certain age, they started locking him in the closet.
My older brother David was a horror movie fanatic, and no one would watch movies with him. So he would invite me over to his room and say, "Hey, let's play video games." I would walk in, he would flip the latch, and I had to watch Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Hellraiser, and today's feature, Candyman.
Fucking 1992's Candyman, starring Virginia Madsen and Tony Todd and a bunch of other bad people. Like, Mike, it's 3:30 in the afternoon on a Wednesday. Why don't anybody remember this?
Okay, it's a cult classic.
I guess.
But it's okay. So we were watching this because Johnny was mentioning that while he is a horror movie fan, he realized that he hasn't watched many of the classics from the 70s to the, I guess this feature is the early 90s.
Okay.
So he was rattling off some, and yesterday he mentioned Candyman, and my brows perked.
And I got my little boy panties wet again.
And I hadn't seen this movie in a long time, but I remember that in terms of these kind of slasher classics, it's a bit of an odd man out.
Very much third string. Here's the thing. I'm a big fan of the Final Destination franchise, and Tony Todd appears in almost all of those movies. I'm like, oh, Tony Todd, yeah, it's that guy I know from Candyman. I'm like, what the fuck is Candyman?
that's why he's in Final Destination, because he had
the sweet Candyman money.
Yes.
I noticed this movie made $25 million, and I got disappointed, but then I realized $25 million in $1992 was a lot.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Show the inflation graph.
Maybe, or not. Who cares? So, I don't know where we want to start. I didn't expect how, like, there are racial undertones.
Oh, yeah. There's a whole commentary about inner city apartment developments and how we isolate the urban black communities within basically these wastelands. And then you get this, this
figure,
this white academic lady
who
just goes barging in and go, "Hi, can you tell me some stories?"
Let's learn about it's like a better version of that shithead from Rent who wants to take photos of fucking all the movies I watch are so white. It's good to see diversity.
And she's just, I don't want to take the theme too far, because I mean the movie juggles a lot of themes, sometimes not very well. It's trying to do a lot in that movie, but this annoying white lady just barging in, trying to figure things out, and people are telling her, "Don't talk about this. Like, you are going to make shit worse."
A phrase came up in my brain that I've heard used before. It's called misery tourism.
Yeah.
That, yes, I want to make a thesis, I want to be good, but it deals with dealing with. She deals with safe shit, and to go out, and she wants to experience. It's kind of like how I'm not qualified to talk about any of these themes. So she wants to
write an interesting thesis
about urban legends, and I love the theme.
She exploits the suffering of the black community.
I love the themes of urban legends. Like, that is, like, a lot of the urban legends now. This is long before the era of creepypasta. So now it was like shit had to spread through word of mouth. You couldn't make up one with the to go viral or whatever. So it was shit like, I don't know. You're not doing it to be Oogie Boogie. It just, urban legends are cool, and I want to pay tribute to that. It's awesome, and shit spreads by word of mouth, and people have misunderstanding. God, this movie's so 90s. That woman, Virginia Madsen, did a great job. Her haircut is awful.
So then by the point where it burns off at the end, it's like, good choice.
Well, it's like when you figure out that her husband is having an affair with a younger college student named Stacy, you're like, of course, her haircut blows yours out of the water. But I don't know what would. I'm just imagining a time when, The husband looks like Kevin Spacey.
I don't know who the actor who plays Trevor. I don't know what his name is, but he's constantly in a lot of these famous movies where he's basically the jackass or the douchebag
He does look
side
like
character.
That, yes.
Like, for example, he's the stepdad in Terminator 2 that gets the spear in the face while he's drinking milk.
Oh.
And so various he's never the main role, and I felt bad because he seems like he's a good actor. He just directors just look at his face and go, "You're the douchebag."
But you gotta do a bad thing before you get killed. I should have organized my thoughts better when we moved in here. So I did not know that this sparked the go into the mirror and say some shit 5 times.
Well, I'm not sure if it did. I think like the legend of what is it like
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary,
or if you're in South Park, Biggie Smalls.
Biggie Smalls. I think that it's just using that. But I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I never really heard about
I did hear Bloody Mary, but I also wasn't a cool kid, so I didn't get invited to sleepovers where they tried that shit.
To me, I heard the Candyman version.
Well, it goes into a lot of different. It's entered into a lot of different zeitgeists in different forms, which is a testament to the power of this. We were talking that this movie doesn't get enough like attention. It's very much a forgotten child, because, and here's my theory, at the end of the 80s, slashers were starting to become watered down and people were getting bored. So the attraction to the genre moved away. So in the space where people weren't that interested in it, just here comes this gem.
And I think also that this movie is grouped with slashers, and in some sense that's justified.
But there's so much more going on there.
Yeah, where it presents itself as a slasher film. If it, like, look at the cover of it.
Yeah.
This ghost guy with a hook cutting people up, but actually it's this juggled tale about, on the one hand,
cultural,
folklore in modern folklore in urban cities, but also the this collapse of this woman's personal life,
psyche. Yeah, God.
Where she all of a sudden loses her mind, and everybody that she trusts doesn't believe her.
Yeah. So, what I love is we said during the film that it's not afraid to cut less, and it respects the audience's attention. Like, there's moments where she'll walk around her house, open curtains, and then she'll move back, or then they'll pan because somebody has walked into the room. That's really cool.
Yeah, okay. And also, in terms of comparing it to the slasher genre, it's a slow film, even though it's only 90 minutes?
99 or 101 minutes, depending on where you look.
And it doesn't have that kind of pace. So I can understand why, again, just reiterating, in this genre of slasher, it does have fans, but it's hard for those fans to cheer it on when people are watching Friday the 13th.
Yeah, so there's a variety of there's this movie gave me a sense of terror that I've only ever found one other place, and that other place is the last 15 seconds of the Blair Witch Project.
Explain.
Spoilers for the Blair Witch Project. At the end, she's going downstairs to find her friend, and when she gets down there, the friend has, something's wrong. There's a building sense that something is very, very wrong, and then you go in, and Mike has his back turned into the corner of the room, and then your brain reaches way back to the beginning about somebody who said that the Blair Witch doesn't like being watched, and would make somebody face the corner while he killed the other one.
Oh, that's a good detail. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So it dawns very quickly on you. You are in a very terrifying situation, and then the camera falls over, and that's it. The other one that got me is when the violence shows up. It's not like a boom, like you're fucked up. What it is she's walking to her car in a garage. Candyman approaches her, and she blacks out.
Well, first, let's I just have to slow down a bit because I do love the way that I love that scene where you hear him whispering.
Yeah.
I love this effect of you hear a whisper and then you turn around and the source of the whisper is hundreds of feet away.
Diegetic.
And well, diegetic, but that's kind of like that would be like there's music.
Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
But it's the source of the sound is in the scene, but it's too far away for you to hear it. So but you hear his whisper as if he's close to you. So your sense of space is distorted.
Okay.
And I really like that effect.
Yeah, and I noticed that when he starts walking, it cuts to her, and when it comes back, this could be seen as an error, but he's much closer.
Yeah.
He hasn't walked any closer.
This movie in no way tries to set the ground rules for what Candyman can and cannot do.
Yeah, who cares?
So let's
4 ways to beat the demon from It Follows.
Yeah. So
God damn it. Okay, I know. Fuck. Let me finish. God damn it. I'm mad now.
And then she blacks out.
Yeah, she blacks out. She wakes up on an extreme close up of her, and we don't know what's wrong right away. But you can hear something happening, and it's getting louder, and it zooms out. She is laying in a bathroom, very bloody. She doesn't know why she's there. It's the apartment of that girl she met earlier.
Was it Ruth something?
No, Ruthie Jean was
Ruthie
the person.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Ruthie Jean. I don't know. I forget the name. But she's back here. Her baby is gone. The dog's head has been decapitated.
You can hear this woman screaming.
Here's the thing: is that's the worst. Is her wailing is just haunting, and your brain goes into this panic where you're like, I don't know, like how do I?
And also it plays with your when she wakes up and it's like, okay, someone's screaming, I'm covered in blood, something bad's happening, and what does she do? She does the rational thing. She grabs a weapon. There's a meat cleaver on the floor, and it's like, okay, something I need to defend myself. But that's in this context, we realize that is the worst thing she could have possibly done is to grab a knife.
Well, your brain goes into panic mode, and like I need to put stuff together, but so much shit is happening. It's just a really slow build to an intense maintained high, and then the cops show up. And
after she
there's
hit the woman in the arm with the
oh my god.
And then it switches to that scene where she's being told by the police officer to take off your
that's
clothes.
So upsetting. She's crying after having this happen to her.
And she's just like, can I please take a shower? This is so gross. I'm covered in dog's blood, and I hope to God it's not baby's blood too.
Oh my god. There's really solid like very realistic, like uncomfortable situations where like there's a group of people that walk into a room, they don't say anything to you. There's 4 of them, and one of them goes behind her.
Oh, you mean when she goes into
she gets beat up by somebody pretending to be Candyman.
I gotta say, when I was a kid and I was watching this, when the kid who befriends Helen tells her the story of in the 1970s, some mentally handicapped kid couldn't hold it, so he went to the bathroom, and then Candyman cut his dick off. Little Mikey was scared to death.
Can't go to the bathroom no more. It's just, and there's a really effective use of violence here, and it's great because after she escapes, after she gets beat up, cut to a police lineup, and they're saying, I heard you're looking for the Candyman, bitch, and they all do it. And then it cuts to her, and she's got a very severe black eye. And there's no, like, tense about it. It's just, like, there's no showing up later in cartoon bandages and, like a sling around, like, oh, I got beat up. No, this is, like, unglamorous, and it's just it's a normal-ass cut, and it throws you off guard, and you're just like, oh, I feel very bad.
It's a giant, swelling bulb thing on her face.
So yeah, she's being chased, I guess, by Candyman, and nobody else can see her because she has this connection to him. And the lore of Candyman is really, really cool. Just that it's cool they killed a black guy. No, just like my dad was rich, so I went to white schools, and then I fell in love with somebody, got him pregnant, so he made some people kill me. And in a fucked up way, there's bees here. Like, let's just put
They
bees.
cut. Let's okay. Elaborate. They cut his
They cut
painting
it-
hand off.
They cut his.
Well, he was a painter.
They cut it. Yeah, they
So,
cut his dominant hand off, and they fucking just.
And then they slathered him in honey.
And then the bees fucking killed him, and then they burned him a lot. They burned him dead, and they scattered his ashes on this fucking low income housing.
And then he becomes like a ghost that thrives off fear and urban legends.
Oh my god, that's hardcore, and it's.
But and I guess this comes after Freddy, but unlike Freddy also apparently needs the fears of children to survive. But this guy does it in more. I find Candyman's response to disbelief much more interesting. Like, oh, you don't believe in me? I'm gonna frame you for murder.
Figure it out. I love how Tony Todd, despite being number one in real life, he's a fantastic, very nice guy. Tony Todd, in addition to being like very scary, he's still like matter of fact about it. Come with me, or I'm gonna kill this baby.
Okay, this is what I wanted to ask you about. And I'm kind of torn with this movie because on the one hand, I do admire it. I like what it's. I like the how it's trying to deal on the one hand with folklore, with inner city life. It's a little. It has its problems, but anyway, I like the attempt. I like how and as I've grown older, I like how it's depicting this this life collapse for this woman.
Yeah.
And how like she feels betrayed by her husband. But what do you think about like
the connection between the main character Helen and this girl from 1818?
Yeah, and like all of a sudden Candyman is like falling in love with her.
I think she. I don't think she's.
And he wants her to be part of the urban legend.
I don't want her to be the one. I think she was just looking. He's just looking for someone, and
this is the first time we've seen a white woman in a long time.
Oh yeah. That way, oh, if he thrives, that's bad. Never mind. Okay, but guys, go like. You can't rent this anymore. The movie's 26 years old. Go like buy this. It's cheap. We got it for $6, and I had nothing to do this afternoon. It's good. It's good. It's solid. There's 90s everywhere. Everything's brown and made of wood. There's no plastic anywhere. They got square ass wood paneled cars.
But it's that 90s that doesn't know the 80s is over yet, kind of.
Oh, they're still clinging. It's a transitional period.
Yes.
The opening credits, somebody figured out how to motion tween titles, but they don't ease in, so it's just punk, and then it moves out. Before we get into final thoughts, I have to. This is the hardest I have laughed at a bad line ever, and
so she's freaking out in the hospital.
Okay, 1 second. When it happened, I had to be like, wait, what? Mike, bear with me.
Rewind.
Rewind, right?
Put subtitles on in English.
Okay, we have to turn subtitles on. So she's freaking out, and she's freaking out at Candyman, who's supposedly there, but we find out later nobody else can see him. And they rush in, and they're trying to sedate.
Your muscular nurses come in.
The nurses come in. They're like, we must sedate her. We must get her down. And one of the fucking extras he's like, this is my big chance to be famous as an extra. I need to say some cool medical shit. And he says out loud, we need 1,000 mils stat. And guys, if you don't know, 1,000 milliliters is a liter. So he's asking somebody to bring in.
We need a liter of sedative. This lady's crazy.
We need a Diet Coke 2 liter. Just pour half of it on top of her, and she'll just fucking chill out.
She's gonna spit out most of it. We're gonna need a lot.
How did that get past a take? Because it was audible enough that the subtitler...
Yeah, the subtitler caught it. I need a liter of sedative.
I need this couch to be 100 centimeters. Exactly. Just what? The coverage was good. They have really pretty shots that roam through the flat downtown Chicago area.
This movie is filled with
I refuse to believe they didn't have multiple takes of that and could have fucking figured that shit out.
That's the price you pay when you're a movie that's you're getting good. We can't just overlook that you just said
I said, Mike, even if this ends the best movie I've ever seen, I have to give it a 9 now because that fucker wants to take like a liter of morphine and just like inject it into her, injection fairy lily style.
It's like I'm even gonna give you an enema of that morphine.
Oh God. Did you have anything else to say? I need to get out of here.
I guess okay. I do enjoy this movie, but when it gets to the last fourth, like I really don't know what to do with the bonfire and
the saving the dead baby from the bonfire.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, basically, what after she escapes the hospital. Well, okay, I do kind of like the conflict. I like the drama when she confronts her husband and she finds all
that's a little Castaway for me. It feels like we've reached a climax. Here's some extra shit. And what I mean by the Castaway is that he gets Tom Hanks gets stuck on that island. He gets away, but then he has to come back and find out that everybody thought he was dead. And he's like, "Oh, isn't that sad? They thought you were dead. What do you want?"
This one, and okay, yes, I do appreciate how when you're watching this, you're supposed to sympathize with the main character. But if you step back a little bit and look at the events from any of the side characters, you have to go, this lady is crazy. But okay, yeah. So I love the 3/4 of this movie, and then I think it really wavers on the last fourth.
And you'll be shocked to know there are no sequels to this. Jordan,
check that.
Okay, I checked it during the movie. I will double check it later. If I'm wrong, it's on the screen. Jordan Peele is in the guy who made Get Out and Us. He's in talks to do a spiritual remake of Candyman.
Oh,
and that excites me. But for now, thumbs up. If we're gonna just like bite off Ebert's shit.
Well, okay, I don't want to do I don't want to say it's good for a horror movie. No, I think this is a good movie
in general. Yeah.
It's trying to juggle a lot of themes in the format of the horror genre, and
that can be tough to do.
It's really tough.
Okay. But that's been the podcast. It's a surprise episode for us. Stay tuned. We are working on editing that Teen Titans podcast. It's an hour and a half long, and I need to finish that. But thanks for joining us. Stay tuned tomorrow for actual video games.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, we love you. I need 1,000 milliliters. Jesus Christ.
Get the enema bag.